Welcome to God's Barn. I'm Al Buhrke, and today I have my friend and my pastor here with me, and we're going to share some stuff on Israel and what is going on right now politically. And this is, I'll just say it this way, this is October.
It's October. We have just recently heard about the peace deal, and so we're watching to see how that's going to play out.
And, you know, there's so much, it's so crazy over there. You know what I mean? And you were saying, go ahead and tell me the story. Someone walked up to you as a pastor and said, what should we do?
I think it's a very, very common question today that's hitting a lot of people with the lack of understanding. And the question was, a woman walked up to me after the service. She said, I have a question for you. I said, fire away. She said, are we supposed to be supporting Israel, or is this a genocide of the Palestinians going on? Where are we supposed to stand on what we see happening and yet how we're supposed to bless Israel? And I think that's just a hot topic right now.
Oh, yeah, big time.
I think a lot of people are looking at this, especially in the U.S. and especially in our younger generation who are free Palestine, and they don't understand the history and the biblical significance of it, including the land and the territory. But it puts you in a perplexing place as you watch war play out and wonder, how is God and the Jews and the land of Israel and all of that tied together with all of this destruction and starvation and the driving of the Palestinians out? That's a tough topic.
You know, it really is a tough topic, but it's a war.
It is.
And people die.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And feeding your enemy is not wise. You want to wipe them out. You want to get rid of your enemy. And one thing I've learned about the Muslims and communists, they only understand the end of a gun. That's it. They only make agreements because it gives them more time to buy more bullets to kill you.
Yeah.
They never make an agreement and say, okay, this is what we're going to do.
I mean, I think there's some baseline statements that have to be made in this conversation. One is, God is a God who told his people to go to war. He told them to go to the land of Israel and drive the enemy out. He told them to kill every single person in a city, or he told them to save the livestock or whatever. So it's not that God is anti-war and that all of a sudden we're just supposed to be loving. We are loving under the new covenant, but that doesn't represent God saying there should never be any kind of war anymore, because if you're attacked, you're going after defensively.
What are you going to do?
Yeah. And so we have the situation in the Middle East where biblically two things are true for the believer. One, we are to bless Israel. Those who bless Israel will be blessed.
Absolute.
Those who curse Israel will be cursed. That's a baseline. Now,
and that's for you.
Yes.
No, do you want to be blessed or cursed? Well, I don't like the Jews. I don't like this. That's not what I asked you. Do you want to be blessed or cursed? You're not God. You're not deciding this. Just make sure you're blessed. So go ahead.
So the second topic is this two-state situation where you have the Palestinians in the West Bank and the Palestinians in Gaza.
That's a joke.
And then your enemy, the Palestinian, attacks Israel. What is Israel supposed to do? Defend themselves and drive this enemy out.
Absolutely.
So we get to a place where if it would have been over in 30 days, everybody would have been happy.
Yeah.
But when it drags on for 2 years, then it's like, well, we're hearing stories of babies being killed, and we're hearing about starvation, and we're hearing about bombings after bombings, and all of a sudden Netanyahu's bombing Qatar. You know, what is he doing? And so people get confused as to, how do I stand with Israel and yet stand with these things that seem like they're not of God, the cruelty, those kind of things.
Really, if you look at the Old Testament, I'd say this. You could say God was a God of war in the Old Testament, but really I'm not going to say it that way. I'll say many times he told them, go to war against your enemies and wipe them out. Literally wipe them out. And because they didn't do it in one case, we have these Palestinians, which they say are descendants of the ones that Saul was told to wipe out. And I will say one thing, just so we understand. Anybody, Palestinian, whoever you are, whatever you are, if you become a Christian, you are a new creature in Christ. You're really not even a Palestinian anymore. So the Christians of the are belong to God, and they should be, and they will be saved. But to the rest of the nation, which is 99% of that group, they are, as I said, they only understand when you completely wipe them out and decimate everything. They'll back off long enough to get more guns and more bullets. So it never ends. It's this, and I think it was in Obadiah where God said that they will, meaning the Palestinians, will eventually be annihilated.
You know what? In the history of the planet, especially here in the U.S., where we talk about reparations to the Native Americans because we came into this land, the reality is the Native Americans were fighting with each other over the land and conquering each other, and then we came in and conquered. So conquering a nation is nothing new. And you don't owe a reparation because you conquered a nation. It is part of expanding. It is part of winning. It is part of taking a territory. Now, I think
just one thing that people don't understand about the Native American Indians, they practice cannibalism. Mm-hmm. They don't talk about that.
Yeah.
And that's why, like the Indians were the fiercest fighters of all, because you made sure as an Indian you were going to fight to your death, because if you didn't, they were going to eat you.
Yeah.
So, back off on how good the Indians were and how bad So go ahead, I'm sorry.
The point being is some people look at the U.S. and say, hey, you stole this land from the Indians, but the Indians stole the lands from the Indians. The Comanches stole it from the Apaches. And so it's not about who conquers who. There's always conquering going on. I think for the Christian, the struggle is, how am I to support Israel if I see them at war and I look at the atrocities and the horribleness of war, and should I still be supporting this kind of activity because it's starving people and it's horrible? And it's easy. It's very easy to get into look what the Palestinians did to Israel. Israel has a right, okay? But I think where most people are struggling is where does that stop? Where does that line stop? Where do we say Israel's doing right? Or are they stepping over into a line where they're doing wrong when the Bible says we're supposed to bless them? And I think what people get confused about is that God tells all of us to bless the Israel nation. That I'll bless those who bless Israel, I'll curse those who curse Israel, okay? And all through the history of Israel, they have had kings and leaders. Some followed God, some did not. Do you know that Ahab and Jezebel were the king and queen of Israel?
Yeah.
Okay, so were we to bless what Ahab and Jezebel did when they brought in the the gods of Beelzebub and the prophets of Baal and all that? No. But am I still blessing Israel? Yes, because it was never about who was leading the country. It's about blessing the nation. And
it was never about how good or bad they are.
Correct.
That wasn't the call or the standard. And they had where they would sacrifice their children to Moloch.
Yep. In Israel.
In Israel. Now, of course.
So do we bless them because they're sacrificing their kids? No, we don't bless that.
We don't bless that, but we bless the nation. We bless the whole concept of these are God's people.
Correct.
And it's good for you. It's good for us. And the reason why America has been so blessed is we blessed Israel from 1948 on. We really, right in the beginning, saved that nation. And the Jews that are living here and were living here, we were good to the Jews living here in America. We blessed them. Mm-hmm. And God says, I'll bless those who bless you.
Yeah.
And so we've been blessed really when we really shouldn't be. We've done plenty of bad things too.
Now we go back to the question of this two-state solution inside of this land. I believe this is Israel's land. I believe the Palestinians should leave that land, okay? And what they're doing now is negotiating this two-state solution, negotiating a stay. I don't know how long that's going to last.
It's not going to last.
I don't think it can. But it's great to have peace again, but I will never not bless Israel. Whether their leader is making right, godly decisions or whether their leader is not making godly decisions, I will still bless Israel.
Yeah, that's really good. And some of them, even here in this country, have been pretty bad. Some of the things they've done. They're the ones that owned all the record companies that put out all this bad music and did a lot of bad things. But I look at it this way. If I bless them, God will bless me. If I curse them, then what's happening now? Oh, I'm under Christ. No. Okay, I get that. I get that. Just do it right. Play it safe. I bless Israel. And I read, I don't remember where or how long ago, but when the Jews started coming back in 1947, the Palestinians weren't there. They were in Greece. They came back with them so that they could create all these problems for Israel. The hatred for the Jewish people is beyond what we can really understand. And I don't think the Jews hate them as much other than get them out of here. So we really have a crazy situation going on over there. I would say to you, watching this show, you would be better off in your life to support Israel. Maybe you don't agree with everything that's going on. I don't agree with everything that's going on, for sure. But what's good for me is to be a blessing to Israel. Wouldn't you say that?
I would agree. And since we're talking about Israel and Palestine, where would you say America is in the Bible?
Oh.
That was a segue for you there, buddy.
I want you to, this is my book, Where is America in Bible Prophecy? And you can get it here. You can get it at victorylifeministries.org. Just go online. It's free. The book is free. You can get it as a download. If you want the book, you're going to have to pay shipping. But other than that, the book is free. And this book talks about where America is in Bible prophecy. And it explains the Gog and Magog war, which I think is soon.
Soon.
Real soon.
Soon.
And if that's real soon, then our days are numbered, according to what I believe God has showed me in this book. So get your copy of this book. It really, really will help you understand a whole lot of what's going on. And I've had people disagree with me on what I said in this book, and I understand that. But there's certain scriptures in the midst of what I said they can't answer.
Yeah.
That I can. So get your copy of this book. It'll be a blessing to you. Go to victorylifeministries.org. And I want to thank you for being on the show, and I appreciate your coming. And it's what's the word? It's just a blessing to have you here. And I really mean that.
It's an honor to be here. An honor to be a part of what you do.
It's easy. It makes it easier for me to do this because we bounce off each other pretty much, and we're on the same page. So I want to thank you all for watching. Remember, Jesus Christ is the Lord of all glory, and we'll see you next time.